see if I can do this. And when I hit the little volume button by accident, I put my glove back on and just deletes the whole video. So it happened to me last week. Anyway, so what I want to talk about is they're inflating our dollar, right? And they're choosing hyperinflation. At some point, the dollar is going to come to an end because fiat currencies don't last long. And all we're doing at this point is accelerating the process of destroying the American dollar. That's all we're doing. Instead of it being done basically, 7 to 10 years, the American dollar probably would have been done, maybe like 50 years. But since they're accelerating the process of hyperinflation, which they're going to have to because they put themselves in a corner, they painted themselves in a corner, they're going to have to choose hyperinflation. The problem with these corrupt politicians is that money is going to be worthless that they're paying the soldiers, they're paying the military. And I know they want to try to do the central bank digital currency. We don't need any more monopolies on currency, okay? Like, that's done. That is done. Because putting your eggs all in one basket is the dumbest thing you can do. Sure, people have gotten extremely wealthy by doing that. But in this climate, what we're in now, I think that markets were a little bit easier to predict. Things were a little bit easier to predict before. How things have changed with society-wise or people's psyche. How it has changed so radically, and the lockdowns and COVID definitely played a factor in this. It's hard to predict what the market's where it's gonna go. So the one currency, the American dollar, what they pay the military with, when it becomes worthless, the military will side with whoever is going to pay their salary. That's all they care about. Most of the people probably that join the military at this point, they just do it for financial benefits. They don't do it because I want to serve my country. They don't do it because some of them might, traditionally, my grandpa was my dad, I want to keep on the tradition. But for the most part, people join the military is because they feel like they don't really have any other option. It sounds nice, like I get a straight income. If I live on the base, live in the barracks, I don't got to pay for rent. I don't know if they got to pay for food. You have your medical taken care of. You got everything taken care of. I think the problem with soldiers too is when they sign up is they get married, and that's the worst thing you can actually do. But people used to go to war to protect their family. But now you go to war, you're not really protecting your family because the wars now they're not like a physical threat onto America at this point. It's more of an economic, and you're making politicians rich people more rich by going to these endless wars, destroy a city and then and invest in the contracts to rebuild it. That's what the Bushes and the Cheneys did. And you can see on the right now, they're salivating for war. Not all the right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a faction of the right that's like, oh, let's go to war. Like, no, for Israel. Don't send any money for Ukraine, but send money to Israel. It's like, what? Okay, you're definitely not anti-war like I thought you were. So I'm glad that maybe God, showed us this. That the right isn't as righteous as they may seem. And this is why I've said before, just because I support MAGA right now doesn't mean that I'm not going to be fighting against them in the future. Because in my lifetime, I've seen politics shift. I've seen it. I was a leftist. I was considered a far leftist when I was younger. In the 90s, I didn't really care about the trans. Like, nobody cared about trans. People who were trans just wanted to assimilate and fit in. That's all they wanted to do. They didn't want to make a big deal about them being born a certain way. And now they transitioned. But people now, because they're narcissistic and they want attention, that's why it's so popular now. But it wasn't really an issue. And people kind of like just thought that those folks were like, I don't know, weird or whatever. But I was for gay rights, gays getting married, and I still don't have a problem with it. Do I think that I have other opinions about those folks, but I don't care. Live your life, man. It doesn't affect me. You're like, who the hell am I as a straight person to be like, you can't get married when we're like getting divorced left and right? 50% of marriages end in divorce, and people like these Christians or whoever, people like me, we're gonna sit on our high horse and be like, oh, you can't get married, but we're gonna go over here and we're gonna just desecrate marriage. It just doesn't make any sense. So, like, I'm pro-choice. I'm still that. I'm not for like third-term abortion, but I'm not against like total abortion. And it's just like, you've seen how everything shifted. How like we were anti-war, we were pro-free speech. Those are some of the basics beliefs that we had. And I still have those. But then you see the left become authoritarian, and pro-censorship. And it's funny is they think they're progressive, but they're actually regressive. When you see things like segregation popping up, even if it's like treating a white person as a second-class citizen. Let's just say hypothetically we're going to go forward, and that seems like there's some type of a narrative from the left. Is to segregate whites and black people, or whites and people who aren't white. They do this in colleges. I'm not sure how this is being allowed. Well, because our government's not doing their job. Just like they don't secure the border, whether it's the right or the left, because they could have secured the border when Trump was elected in 2016, but the Republicans fought against it. Fuck them. Fuck them for that. Fuck anyone who fought against Trump. Any motherfucker. Fuck all you guys. Fuck you and your families. And I hope that you get what you deserve in this life or the next life. I'm not promoting any type of violence. I don't say any people should commit violence on these people. Like, hey, if you end up like broke and all your money's taken from you, and then you're just like on my level now, cool, man, good. That's what you get. That's life. That's karma. That's what I would like to see more of. That's what I like to see, like, because I'm tired of the karma. I'm tired of like feeling like I'm the only one that faces karma for even little fucking things. And these people are out here causing these atrocities, and they get to still live a life of privilege. And it just pisses me off. But I know in the next life they'll get theirs. And that's the hope anyway, that they'll get theirs at some point. So, yeah, I've seen how things have changed. And just because people hold my beliefs, and I've seen it happen real time with Hamas attacking Israel. The factions, how the right was supposed to be against war, and then now you have people popping up like, oh, let's go to war, blah, 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 blah. No, you go to war, dude. You go fight. Anyone who's pro-Israel or pro-Ukraine, and you're out here saying let's go to war, let's fund these people, you go over there and fight. You don't send our fucking kids anymore. You fucking fight. You politicians, you go fight. You send your own kids. You put some skin in the game, and that's the problem. These people are just like people on welfare who vote. They don't have no skin in the game. It's easy to be somebody like Lindsey Graham and be like, when you don't have kids, and be like, yeah, let's go to war, let's bomb Ukraine, let's bomb, not Ukraine, but Iran. We're gonna bomb Iran for no reason. It's easy for somebody like that to say something like that when you don't have any skin in the game, because they don't. And in fact, they have vested interest because they want this to happen, because they're probably invested into war stocks or whatever, the war machine, and they're gonna get paid handsomely. They want it, and that's why they're salivating for it so badly. Nikki Haley, oh man, she is, I look at her, she is disgusting. There's these people who are posing as they're unipartyist, and I don't mind working together. I think working together is good, but when you are going to act like you're against people, and then like you're behind the scenes making deals that benefit both of you and hurt us, the American people, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. So what will happen is, unless they come out with another currency, which America isn't going to come out with another currency. If everyone's backing their currency with America's currency, as long as America's backed, number one, the dollar's not going anywhere. Okay. But what will happen is it causes oppression on these countries, and that's why they decided to make BRICS. Even if BRICS is a complete failure, it doesn't do anything. These countries see what we're doing over here and how we're manipulating shit and fucking them over, essentially causing their country to be a slave to us. But if America's dollar gets dethroned, and I don't think that we, at this point, honestly, we deserve to be the world's reserve currency. Our government is out of control, and they're irresponsible. They don't care. They can't even balance a fucking budget. and like I said, they're just out of control. But you'll have an uprising, and the military will probably uprise too. At least stand out of the way while the government gets overthrown. Who knows what that will be overthrown by? Is it going to be overthrown by communism? Could be. Is it going to be overthrown by patriot? Going back to Constitution. Constitutional values. Besides the racist bullshit. Besides slavery. We're not going to go back to that shit. We're not going back. Even though the left wants to go back to that shit. The left wants us to be segregated. Then, you can look at the city. Look at the cities. Look at the leftist cities. And I don't think it's so much the leftists. I know they run it, but when you got a bunch of people who are from different countries in one area, they're going to segregate themselves because of religious beliefs, country beliefs, ethnicity, beliefs, or whatever. They do it themselves. People segregate themselves. But what the problem is, it's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be like, oh, this is non-whites only. You're not supposed to do that. That's illegal. That's illegal. But this is what the left wants. They want regression. They want to go backwards. You know, when in the 90s, I was like, you know, all that bad stuff happened in the past to black people, and I thought that we were like getting somewhere, but all of a sudden it just seems like all this shit's being brought up like this is the 1960s again, and it's not, man. It's not the 1960s, and it's really sad. It's really sad. I'm not saying that there isn't racism that happens to anybody. I'm not saying that, like, whatever skin color you are, but I'm saying, like, since people are softer nowadays, their perception of racism is different than it was before. Racism before would be like, just walk, you know, like I'm a baseball player, I'm a white baseball player gonna go play in the Negro leagues, and I get called a cracker. Everyone just called me a cracker. It's not like I'm walking on the sidewalk and then two people who are non-white decide to cross the street and I'm like, oh, they're racist. No, it's just they want their space. Perception is just like so different from now than it was back in the 60s. So yeah, people are just really weak, and don't worry, they'll come back down to reality. It's only a matter of time till people come back down to reality here in America. I just hope that it isn't too bad. I want suffering, but I don't want it. I just want people to be able to wake up and realize, hey, this is not reality, what I've been living in.